What's the most insane butterfly effect you've ever seen? When I was 17, I was obsessed with this college acceptance letter that would change everything. NYU Film School, my absolute dream. I'd been making short films since I was 12, won 3 local competitions, and had a killer application portfolio. The letter was supposed to arrive March 15th, and I was checking the mailbox every single day like a maniac. "Sarah, you need to stop stressing about this," my mom said, watching me frantically refresh my email for the 100th time. "If it's meant to be, it'll happen." "Mom, you don't get it," I snapped, pacing around our tiny kitchen. "This isn't just any school. This is the school. Martin Scorsese went there. Spike Lee went there. This letter determines my entire future," she sighed, stirring her coffee. "And what if you don't get in? What's your backup plan?" "There is no backup plan," I said firmly. "This is it. This is my shot." March 15th came and went. Nothing. March 16th, 17th, 18th. Still nothing. By March 20th, I was convinced I'd been rejected and they just hadn't bothered to send the letter yet. That Friday, I decided to skip school. I was too depressed to face anyone, especially my film teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, who'd been asking about my application status daily. Instead, I spent the entire day in my room, crying into my pillow and watching old movies. "Sarah," my mom called from downstairs around 2 p.m. "The mail's here." I practically flew down the stairs, my heart hammering against my ribs. There it was, a thick envelope with the NYU logo in the corner. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely open it. "We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted," I screamed, literally screamed at the top of my lungs. Mom came running, thinking something was wrong, but I was jumping around the kitchen like a crazy person, waving the letter in the air. I got in, I got into NYU. But here's where it gets weird. The letter was postmarked March 12th, 3 days before it was supposed to arrive. Our mailman, Jerry, who'd been delivering to our street for 15 years, had apparently mixed up our mail with the house 2 blocks over. Some family named Patterson had been getting our mail for almost a week. If I had gone to school that day like I was supposed to, I would have missed the delivery. Jerry only delivers to our street between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m., and school doesn't end until 3:15. "Thank God you stayed home sick," Mom said, hugging me tight. But I wasn't sick. I had skipped school because I was convinced I'd been rejected. 4 months later, I'm at NYU orientation, and I meet my roommate, Emma. We're chatting about our backgrounds when she mentions she's from my hometown. "No way. What street?" I asked. "Patterson Avenue," she said. My blood went cold. "What's your last name?" "Patterson." It turns out Emma's family had been getting our mail that whole week. Her mom had been meaning to walk it over to our house, but kept forgetting. On March 20th, the day I skipped school, Emma's mom finally decided to drop off the mail on her way to work. Emma told me something that made my heart stop. My mom almost didn't deliver it that day. She was running late for work and almost just left it for the weekend. But she said something told her it might be important. If Emma's mom had waited until the weekend, I would have gotten my acceptance letter on Monday. But that Monday, March 23rd, was the day of the deadliest school shooting in our district's history. A former student had come back with a gun during lunch period. I would have been in the cafeteria at exactly 12:47 p.m. when it happened. Instead, I was at home, holding my acceptance letter, planning my future in New York. My best friend Jessica, who always sat with me at lunch, was one of the victims. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you, like missing your mail for a week, turns out to be the thing that saves your life. That delayed letter didn't just get me into college. It kept me alive to go.